Hello, guys. Welcome to episode 4 of the PODI-Cast. Today, we're here talking about many things. This is going to be a wholesome episode. We're missing 2 of our members today. We've switched up our topics just a little bit, but it's still going to be a fantastic episode. If you're expecting some BDSM talk, you're going to have to wait till next Saturday. But here we have myself as our host, Jay. We've got Brody,
What's up, Busters?
and then we have Jovi
What's up, Busters?
and Mike.
Sup, buddies?
And Rare.
Sup, Busters?
We're all busters now. Welcome to the Pody
No, I just
Buster
feel-
Cast.
I feel
We're
like
all
I've just
busted
been.
nuts.
Yeah,
The
I should have just
biggest.
kept it going.
I don't know,
You're
man.
the
Just
odd one
throwing
you're the odd
wrenches
one out,
into
you're
things
fired.
and stuff.
Could I run it back?
Run it back. And here we have Mike.
What's up, Busters?
Hey.
Now we're all Buster boys.
Yeah.
So today we are intending to talk about essentially what was the most difficult thing you had to overcome / work on as a person. I think this is a wicked question that I feel like a lot of us could get very much into, and we're going to start with just that part for our question first. Mike, do you mind if I put you on the spot since this is your question and have you go first?
I mean, I guess so. I did
Hit
bring
it.
it up, so might as well.
Yeah, hit it.
All right. So, for the longest time, just because of the way that when I was younger, my brother would always speak for me, day in, day out. If I wanted something, then I could just get my brother to tell my mom what I needed. So for the longest time, he would just be my communicator. He would be my he'd be the person that I would go to tell everybody else around, okay, what's going on. So with that, I was very behind on actually developing my speech, and with that, my mom ended up taking me in to see a speech pathologist to figure out, okay, what's going on? Why isn't he talking? And didn't take very long for her to figure it out. That it's like, oh, let's see if what happens when Nick's out of the room. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh no, I gotta start talking now. So with that, like, it's always been fairly difficult for me to actually start doing, some to do a number of like speech and all that other stuff, especially public speaking. And that was probably one of the hardest things I ever had to overcome, was to not only get better with public speaking, either within the role as like an instructor at a parkour gym, but I actively really tried to put a lot of work into making myself better at public speaking.
Mm.
And put myself into a lot of situations where it's just like, okay, it's either sink or swim. You gotta balls up, or this is gonna turn out terribly. One instance for that was at Jake's, or like one of my best friend's weddings.
Yeah.
He chose me to be best man. So
Yeah.
with that, you have to do
Mm.
a speech
Mm-hmm.
for the best as the best man. So
Like,
with that, I'm like, oh no, I'm in front of a bunch of people that it's the two sides of the family. A lot of them that have not met at all. Would it just be in front of you guys? It's like, oh, this is super simple, no problems. But so as soon as I figured that was going to be something that was happening, this was during my 3rd or 4th year of university. Realized, I'm like, oof, okay, I better go ahead and use my time here and try to work on these skills, or else this is going to be a terrible speech and I'm just going to absolutely fall flat. So I just ended up getting into a introductory speech course through Mount Royal, and at first, oh my god, it was a train wreck.
What did
absolute
it
train wreck.
what did it feel like realizing that you had this big speech coming up and like just the urgency of you cracking down on
Ooh.
working on it?
Well, just a mountain, really.
Yeah.
Just thinking about like, oh, it's gonna be so hard to just get myself up
Hmm.
that just don't want to be that person that starts hiking up a mountain is just like, oh, I can't go on any longer. It's like you're halfway up the mountain. You
Yeah.
still have to come down. It's gonna be a lot of work just to get back. So you better just
Yeah.
keep on going forward. So I feel like if you put yourself into a situation where it's just like, okay, my GPA is on the line. If I want to get my full
Okay.
scholarships through, I need to be sure to do well in this course, or else bye money
So
and
you put
bye the free ride.
yourself into a hard spot academically just to inspire yourself to do good at this course and to put
Yeah.
in the work.
Yeah, because I find that at least like for university, if you're not challenging yourself, then you're not really doing yourself a favor.
Dude, I feel that. I slacked off so fucking hard in university.
Mhm.
Or in college, I guess.
I didn't.
No.
Speaking of that, I just got another scholarship yesterday.
Hell
Ooh, cheers, man.
yeah.
So
Congratulations.
they funded a good chunk of my. So
Oh, congrats,
Nice,
dude.
Smart
Atta boy.
boys.
But yeah, so just ended up putting myself into the ringer with this speech course and realized that all it really is just a little bit of extra preparation, actually getting the words out from your head into your mouth, if you will. Because a lot of the time, again, I'm a big overthinker. I'll
Yeah.
mull over 1.5 million different ways to say something before I end up saying it. So if I end up stuttering or I end up kind of stopping midway, is because I'm really trying to put together and weave together a sentence, and then at the same time as I'm saying it, I'm trying to press the backspace, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit, that doesn't work. Yeah, it's already out there.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I found that speech course really helped me, and out of all the courses that I took there, I found that my most useful ones were not my core academics, but actually the I guess they call it jet eds, or electives off to the side that you would do. It's basically your option courses, but they're a lot more. It's not like back in high school where it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna do comtech or foods, or
Yeah.
you're gonna do art or something like that. It's more, okay, you're gonna study something that's going to enhance your learning and also your knowledge base.
Do you think
So
that your speech course made you actually better at casual conversation? Like, do you specifically overthink less and go over what you're gonna say and think of different ways to say it less since your speech course?
I think no. It depends.
Dang.
It
'Cause I was like,
depends on
I
the
need to finish
situation,
through
and
that shit
also.
too. So.
Well, there was a little bit of like impromptu speaking help, but as far as it goes, it's just being able to stop yourself from continuing to go ooh, or trying to fill that dead space with some sort of sound, just so that people are hearing my voice. That means that I'm speaking. That means I'm doing good. Okay, everything's fine. But trying to keep it substantive.
That makes sense. I try to say like less because of that. I say like a disgusting amount. If I look back over how I talk, it's like, oh,
You know,
Yeah.
you really don't notice your like speech patterns until you start listening to them. So like through making videos and writing scripts and then recording them, I really notice like what things that I say and like common phrases I use. And
Yeah.
I even through like teaching parkour and stuff, you'd be talking to groups of people, repeating things, saying instructions, and I always found that I say, does that make sense a lot? Literally, I'd be like, so you do this and this and this. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Way to break
That's a
your
dirty
ums and
question.
ahs is the subway game we play.
Yeah.
Best way to practice
Oh,
breaking
rare.
ums and
You
ahs.
gotta explain the subway game.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. You gotta get through your entire order at Subway without any ums, ahs, or like unnecessary like stretching of words.
That sounds
So
like a good
ditch
exercise,
the filler, and
actually.
it's whoever it's. I think we said it's like 10 push-ups for every ah and or like
Yeah.
that doesn't need to be there.
Wow.
So like if you're like, I need cucumbers and jalapenos, it's fine. But if you're like, I need cucumbers and jalapenos, and like anytime you stretch one, or you go, or hmm, or
Kind
I
of
think
helps you be
that
decisive
hard.
as well, hey?
yeah,
Yeah,
you need
true.
to come in. You need to know
You
what you're doing.
yeah, you plan in your
You
head
kind of sound like
ahead.
an asshole too. Is the funniest part. Is like just by ditching these words, all of a sudden you're like, no, I need cheese on it. I need jalapenos on it. I need cucumbers on it. Give me mustard. Give me mayo. Now shut the fuck up and let me pay. Like,
Listen here, Subway worker. I know you get minimum wage, but I need my fucking cheese on my Subway right now.
I
Extra
know you're a
toasty,
sandwich
bitch.
artist, but fuck you right now. I need this sandwich.
but
I need this meatball marinara sub right now with Swiss. Yes,
Listen,
Swiss.
you don't understand. My wife's in the car and she's fucking hangry. You better make it double toasted. You better add extra cheese or I'm gonna be found in a ditch later.
see, you know the best part is you can like come in with the full plan and you're ready to go, and then they'll toss out, "Do you want double cheese?" And suddenly it like you lose all of it.
Can
Right,
I get
And they're like, "Do you want double cheese?" And you're like, "Uh." You're already on yes toasted, and then they throw in the double cheese question, and it
You're
just
like,
ruins the whole rhythm.
yeah,
It's a,
I
it's a
wasn't
great
mentally
game for
prepared
learning
for that.
to speak with purpose.
it is good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um.
But-
So you go ahead, Mike. I just got a
But yeah,
question for you.
oh yeah. But yeah, I guess like another trial that I put myself through to deal with the public speaking end of things was joining a group on campus. That was through one of the like honor societies that was there, and they were putting together whoever was going to be part of the executive or like who's going to end up running this organization. So I was like, okay, well, this is going to be, an experience that I can work towards and put on my resume. It was also really nice to work with a bunch of people from different fields or like different areas of study, because I'd just been in my silo of environmental science for 3+ years.
Mhm.
I might have just like brushed up against like some of the geology majors and some of the people in like all the other chemical sciences. But then that was the one that I was like, oh, I'm in with people that are in psychology and in with sociology, business, accounting, aviation, like just a bunch of different people. So coming together and actually working together with that type of group was really good. And with that, we do this new member recognition event where we'd bring in all of the members, and then we'd all have a portion of a speech to present to them. And because that was in our inaugural year, we ended up actually reaching out to the mayor of Calgary, Mayor Nenshi, and he actually
Nice.
ended up coming and attending. So I was like, ah, fuck. If if I fuck this up right now, I'm gonna look so foolish in front of not only my mother, but also the mayor of Calgary.
I was supposed to be just practicing to talk at my friend's wedding, and here I am speaking to the mayor as the step before that.
Yeah.
Last time I met the mayor, I was dressed up as an elf. Oh, it was a good time.
At least when I met the mayor, I was in a red jumpsuit.
Yeah,
Not
that
an
was the
elf.
time before it.
Yeah.
You
This
all
most
met the
recent
mayor?
one was the elf.
Apparently, it's really easy for us to meet the mayor in our city.
I had also met the mayor recently at the film studio, but my face was full of food because we were on lunch break. It's like covered in dust and just debris from work, and
Or
He's
just
got a Korean hot
or-
dog in his mouth.
yeah, just fucking.
Had
And
a,
then
had
she
a
walks up,
glizzy.
it's like, oh man.
He was
Then she's like,
deep
"That was
throating a
pretty
glizzy.
good." Oh,
Then she's just like, "Oh, nice glizzy."
No, I left my gun at home.
Oh man.
Hey Jovi, what's something that you
I've
have
overcome.
worked on and
I'm
you've had to
thinking.
overcome?
I didn't like overcome it, but like like you know what I
If it's
mean?
a
The
work
hardest
in
thing you've been working
progress.
on.
I think like I don't know. I was in like a deep depression, you know, for a while. And like I'm not in that anymore. Like I'm still emotionally unstable and like working on it every day. But like
That
I
makes two
feel
of
like
us.
I've overcome a lot in a sense, you know, like cuz like when I first got here like I didn't care about anything. Like I didn't care about like I thought I could be homeless. I thought I could die soon. I didn't that was literally I was there. I didn't care like when I first got to Vancouver. But you know, the process to overcoming it had a lot to do with who I was around, like especially moving in with Josh at that time. And Josh is like this big ball of energy and positivity, and like even if you're a sad guy, he's just like, bah, come have fun with me, and he's just awesome. And like you know, I think when you're at a super low depression part, like you're not even trying to take care of yourself. Like there could be options to get better. Like if you exercise, if you eat healthy, you get better. But like you don't give a fuck. You're just sad. You just don't even want to get out of bed. You know, like there's a
Yeah.
point where it's hard to even help yourself.
It's
And
hard to
so
get
like,
started.
yeah, I feel like a lot of people's like a question I had on my mind was like, how do I get better if I don't even give a shit about getting better, you know?
Mhm.
But like,
Yeah.
and when people say that to me, I actually have an answer for them now. I just say surround yourself with people who have like positive, like surround yourself with people who can like help, have good
Mhm.
support systems, and just be influenced by people who are in a positive space because that is how it gets through to you while you aren't trying. Like you don't have to be like the one pulling the levers. You can just have someone emit this shit and you'll just kind of absorb
Mhm.
it, and that gives you that first boost to like finally do good things for yourself because it's what you know, it changes your thoughts to be around positive healthy habits all the time. Josh eats healthy every day, exercises every day. Like these are pillars of mental health, you know, and they weren't habits I had, but they're habits I developed easily because I lived with him.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
you saw somebody else doing it and you were living around it, that you saw that it was a thing that you wanted to strive towards and it was happening right in front of you. I found like when I was like surrounded by other people who had similar mindsets of just like fuck this, fuck that, then I found myself doing that more to myself, and that's no
Mhm.
good.
Totally. And like, yeah, if all your homies cope by doing like drugs and drinking, you know what I mean? Like, if
Hmm.
you're telling your friends, I'm so sad, and you're trying to talk to the people around you, or even you're just around the people near you, like, that's what you're gonna think to resort to. You don't have, but literally every time, like, I'll be like, Josh, what do you think I should do about this? He's like, go for a run. Like, he would just tell me to do healthy, eat a healthy meal, you know? Like, he would literally say that to me. So it's like, that's all that's on my mind. I don't have, you know, influence is a huge thing. Like, you're such a large product of like what you're around, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So.
product of your environment.
Exactly. And then once I actually got those things going, it's like eating healthy, doing these things, like all of a sudden, like I would still go in and out of depressive episodes, but they'd be way less intense every time. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I'll still
because
experience them, but it's not as bad, really. It's like the
no, you've
trajectory was like up and down, but on an upward scale. You know what I mean? Like now I can get super depressed, but it's so much less intense than like a couple years ago.
yeah, you've
Mhm.
developed all these really good habits that are just like stuck in your brain now that won't be affected when you're depressed anymore, but they're helping you to be less depressed.
Yeah. Yeah, and they
Mhm.
lessen the impact of the depression and stuff too.
Hmm.
So it's really like a maintenance game. Like I don't even know if I can achieve. No, I don't think so. I don't think anyone can achieve like yeah, you definitely can't achieve pure happiness. It's obvious that you always feel happy and sad in life, right? But
Yep.
like
Mhm.
just knowing how to go through it and cope with it and everything just helps so much. And like even though for no reason I'll just get 2 weeks of depression, like it is so much more bearable with healthier coping mechanisms and like keeping all the pillars up like sleep support system, leisure, nutrition, all that stuff,
Mhm.
physical activity. I
Yeah, and I
love
find
that
that
shit.
part of it is also just like, those days where you're feeling down and don't want to do anything. That's like the time to actually try to do something, regardless of how much you actually do, so long as you do something.
I
'Cause
agree.
then that just
That's a good
shows that
point.
it's like, oh, I'm still capable even in my lowest point. So it gives you that that reward pathway as well as just you got to win out of it. If it's as easy as just, hey, I went for a run, I feel better about myself because I pushed myself past where I was,
Yeah.
then, you know, easy. Easy
See,
money
in
there.
running, dude, like that's like yeah, you can feel emotion. Like yeah, I'm proud of myself, and that is something that running helps me feel. But also, just chemically, working out makes you happier.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
you will literally just chemically, your brain produces, I don't know the name, it produces shit that makes you feel better when you're physically active. Like it helps so much, and it's a
Oxytocin,
good
serotonin,
it's a good like
I think that
outlet
one's
too.
endorphins, isn't it? The workout
I think
endorphins
endorphins.
as well.
endorphins,
Yeah.
yeah. And see, like I
Uh,
feel like I got all these natural anger, all these natural issues, and when I run, it's like it's the right place to put that emotion, you know, because it's easy to misplace it and just treat people badly around you, or like get frustrated at your job that is not even the problem. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
One thing I used to really struggle with was the concept of anger. Is that I never wanted to be angry because I always thought it was a like wasted emotion. It shouldn't exist, and so I used to berate myself a lot with anger and stuff. But anger is a actually really useful emotion. It's like an agent of change. It helps you like do things. It just needs to be channeled into something productive, and that's the problem. Is
that's the
so
thing.
it's good to
It's
hear that you're finding places where it should go.
dude,
yeah.
running,
And,
it, dude. When
and
I run,
Jovi,
I'm like, okay, but it's okay to put it there. You know, I can run so much past my body's limits because I'm putting
Mhm.
emotion into it.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jovi, it's something that you said as well, just like, hey, we're physical beings, and we have all of these neurochemicals pumped into our heads, and that has a direct impact on how we perceive ourselves as well as others, as well as the world around us. So it's not as simple as like, oh, just be happy. Like good old like, oh, hey, just do this. This is gonna be the slapstick fix to everything.
Literally.
Um,
Like
s-
there is no way to maintain happiness. You're always gonna have. It's like it's
yeah,
always
and like,
maintenance. It's always maintenance. You know what I mean?
and it just goes to show it's just like, hey, we are just these physical beings that have all of these different interactions that are happening at any one given time. So, and by just changing kind of what you're taking in, um, going and getting proper medical help in the event that hey, you're not producing proper neurochemicals and you're like you don't have the proper concentration, then there's no shame in going to a doctor and getting those prescribed out to you so that you can achieve that nominal level instead of always having to be set back behind everybody else. Like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
so yeah, like I, it's yeah, again, like I for the most part, hey, you're not giving yourself a chance if you don't start trying to develop those types of healthy habits, because at the end of the day that will help you considerably feel better, and
Usually.
your body will respond to that.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's just like, hey, if you're down in these like dumps, then there's people that know what's going on and will be able to help you.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
mean,
Jovi, um,
but
to carry on with like this, because you say it's a work in progress. Um, what is still like you've made a lot of improvements, but what do you find is still the most difficult thing that you're trying to get past with it?
ooh, maybe like Mike said, is like when you're in those places of depression, like um proving yourself that you're still capable of doing shit. Like I can still just like if I get depressed, I could sleep away like 4 days, like do fucking nothing when the
Mm-hmm.
best project of my life is on my hands and I actually have deadlines that I have to meet, and like I will just give up anything. Like I won't give a shit. I'll just go to bed. Like I'm not down. You know what I mean? So I gotta work on when it's at its worst, still functioning a little healthier than I do. Like I don't think the move is to go to bed 5 times a day, which I did like last week. So
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean that's
Yeah,
understandable. It's like mental health is always such a work in progress, no matter what you're working through, and it always will be. So
Yeah.
you'll always find those things that eventually you overcome them and you develop these good habits and good coping mechanisms, and eventually you'll find more things that you want to overcome to make yourself feel better. But it's good that you're working through it.
Mhm.
You're doing something
Totally.
about it.
Exactly. Like yeah. Like if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. You're not like there's no like neutral ground. Like you're sinking or swimming, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can agree with that. I need to get some healthy habits going in my life. Jeez.
What's
Yeah.
something
It's
difficult you've overcome, Brody?
It's hard to say. I feel like I haven't had that many, what's the word I'm looking for? That many difficulties that are directly my issue in my life. You know what I mean? Like I've had some shit go on around me, that's for sure.
Well, that's
But
fine. That's stuff that you've had
Yeah.
to work through, whether it's through coping or through
mhm.
like anything. What are you?
yeah,
Yeah, it can be situational. Like personally, okay, this one situation was the hardest thing I've ever had to get through, and
well,
you know,
I have my answer, but y'all interrupting me, you
I will. I
motherfuckers.
will stop.
Just kidding. I think I'm in the process of it
Okay.
right now, honestly. And it's just getting over being comfortable.
Mm.
So I very much like get into a comfortable situation and I just stay in that situation. Whether it's like where I should be or if it's like a good place to be or not, I'm just like, well, I'm comfy. So this is good. I don't need to do anything different, but that's not always the case.
No.
So even just in the past year with like, moving up into higher positions in work with like more responsibility, leaving a job that I had for 4 years, or 5 years, leaving a relationship that I was in for 4 years, and soon moving to like another entire city, like that's all super fucking hard stuff for me because I
Mm-hmm.
just want to be comfortable. Like if I could just stay in this room for the rest of my life and just work this same job I have, I totally would because I'm comfortable with it. But I know that's not what I should be doing. And I know that there's other stuff I need to move towards. And
mhm,
that's
Yeah.
hard. It's scary. So I'm in the process of getting better at doing things that are out of my comfort zone. And it keeps getting easier and easier as we go. But the big test is definitely going to be moving to Vancouver with you guys because
Absolutely.
that will be the hardest thing I've had to overcome in my life.
Yo, it's a big thing to move, like especially like it's not even just a new city that's kind of close by or a new place in the city. We're moving a whole province over and upwards of 600 kilometers away.
Mhm.
So like we've moved out and lived in separate places before, and that was nowhere near as intimidating as this is. And
Well, see, that's the
uh,
thing is I haven't moved out.
yeah,
It's
no,
true.
I've
We
been
all
in
moved
the
in with
same
you.
you've been
house
there.
since I was in grade 6. My parents moved out. And
Yeah,
I stayed here with roommates. They moved back in. That's the thing is I'm comfortable here.
Yeah.
So even though I was living on my own, I didn't have to change that comfortable space, right? So
Yeah.
this will be like a growing up period. Like I'm a fucking child.
we're
The
all
most
children,
adult thing I've done is gotten my driver's license at fucking 26 years old. Like
dude.
so
It's
this will
I
be
still
a
have to do that one.
huge
So.
opportunity for me to just fucking balls up and grow up and push myself forward and fucking work hard as fuck at the things I want to do and live in a cool ass city with my friends. Like
I think it's
Totally,
gonna
dude.
be
That's
really
cool,
awesome for you and
I
all
think
of
so too.
us. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
great thing.
yeah,
I
I have
agree.
to
Like,
agree. Like that's definitely going to be one of the hardest things I'm going to have to do as well, because
Mhm.
like this room is the room I've been in ever since I was born, essentially.
Right?
So, leaving that type of comfort, especially, with the talks in the family of just like, okay, mom's going to be retiring. Um, she's going to want to be doing all this other stuff. And if
Mhm.
she has this house holding her down, then she won't be able to do that. So it's just like,
Mhm.
I don't want to be holding her back on that. And also, I've been saying this for the past couple of years now that I'm going to be moving out, but just a lot of situations got in the way of that.
Same, dude.
It was a lot. It was definitely going to be a lot easier when I had the momentum of moving up north for those 2 summers,
Mhm.
because kind of got into that idea of like, oh, this space is impermanent. I'm not going to be here. Okay, I'm not going to put all this weight into this one space. I'm going to be able to be mobile. I'm going to be able to move. Uh, Pretty nice and easy. But then once you start thinking of all the things that you have to have all set up, like, oh, it's easy when you just move to a different city for a couple months, but then that you're gonna be coming back. because it's like, oh, I don't have to change my billing address. I don't have, or like my mailing address. I don't have to change my tax information. I don't have to
See,
find a new doctor, a new dentist. I
I
don't have to find a new cafe to get freaking coffee beans from,
I don't
and
care
so on and
about
so
any
forth.
of that stuff. It's the like changing your address, like that stuff, billing, any of that stuff is as easy as an email now, or as calling a company, and it's a lot of stuff to deal with. It's not that it's not stressful, but to me it's going to a completely unfamiliar place where I'm unsure of the ability to hold it down there and to not have this direct, like, I know everywhere to go if I want those things, or for photo shoots, or how to drive places. Like, I'm gonna be using Google Maps all the time. I'm gonna be getting lost. But like that's also what is so exciting to me, is that I'm gonna be in a place that I'm unfamiliar with. And it's
Mhm.
become an it used to be such a uncomfortable feeling, but ever since like we planned ahead and did our Europe trip and just embodying the whole Lost Boys shit, like ever since I've just been constantly reminded of it, it's been really nice to have that freeing mentality of like, okay, I'm comfortable and I know I'm comfortable. I've been saying I'm going to move to this city for fucking years and I haven't done anything towards it. It's time to do it. And now finally
Mhm.
life is kicking me in the ass and saying, you gotta go now.
Yeah,
It's
and I don't.
there's no more waiting and there's no more
Yeah,
being comfortable.
I don't think there is any like perfect time to do it anyways.
No.
Like it's just gonna have to be something that we just do and we just make it fucking work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
feel
I
like it'll
feel
go a long way for that feeling of you, like feeling that it's scary to make changes and be uncomfortable, because I feel like it'll be scary, right? And then when you do it, it'll be so good that you have such a positive association with facing that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because like you'll just enjoy it so much. 'Cause I know you guys are gonna enjoy it so much. It's
yeah,
so good.
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, Jovi made the jump as well, and then Josh also made the jump. So
Yeah,
you know, it shows
and
that
neither
hey,
of you
you
guys.
can do it, and you're not gonna die,
Yeah,
presumably.
Yeah,
hopefully.
you make it work. You make it work. You know what I mean? Like I fucking know it'll be the best time in the city with you guys. Holy
Yeah,
fuck. Holy
yeah,
dude.
I'm
I
excited.
can't wait.
I'm very excited to be close to you guys again, and
Yeah,
the things we can do and the adventures there will all be new to us, and just the idea of being able to go on a hike and then end my day on the beach is going to be so good.
totally.
That was the funnest thing about going there for like NAPC and PKBC. It was just going to Lynn Canyon, doing some cliff jumping, and then going all the way back over to English Bay, I believe. I think I have the right names.
English Bay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then just chilling out by the logs and jumping into the ocean. It's freaking crazy.
Oh, I know, dude.
A
It's
crazy
blessed.
lifestyle.
It's so beautiful. It's fucked. Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
I'm so excited for the better seafood. Oh my
Dude,
gosh.
Yes.
The
I'm
sushi.
just
The one thing that I'm not excited for
yeah,
when we're out there
the seafood
is how
smell.
much
All
more
the things.
seafood there's gonna be around me all the time.
Yo, I'm just excited for fucking mustard pickles, okay? Like,
Mustard pickles?
dude, there's a place in Granville Island, which, by the way, Granville Island is like the dopest market.
It is.
Place called Kelvin and some pickles, and they have mustard pickles, and they're basically just pickles, but they're made with like Dijon mustard and stuff in them, and they're literally the best pickles I've ever had in my life. But that's the only place you can get them other than New York City. So it's like,
Hmm.
Oh, for real?
like if I go to Granville every weekend, that's why. Like,
Yeah.
Dude, also hack. Granville has this donut shop, Lee's Donuts, and they'll do like
yes,
day
Yeah.
old leftovers though, right? You can get
Oh.
like a bag of like 12 or like 14 donuts for $1.
Yeah.
For $1.
Dude, I know.
It's
I
crazy.
there in the Granville Island Brewery,
Damn.
like the donuts and
Yeah.
the beers there.
Like
Ooh-wee.
with icing and everything, like just
Yeah.
one day old. That's the only catch. $1. It's so good.
But like one day old is not really that bad.
Not bad at all. It's fresh almost.
Damn.
It's almost
Dude.
fresh. It's just a day old. Don't worry about
Brody,
it.
the pastries we had at the Wow Bakery were day old. Like we
Yeah,
got them
right?
on
And they were
special
fine.
and they were still delicious.
Yeah,
Bob Bakery is just great anyways. So
Yeah,
It
that's
is
true.
great.
It's true.
This is true.
I
All
think
right, we need to hear from Rare.
yeah.
Oh, actually, this is a pretty good kind of segue, actually.
Boom.
Because my big thing to overcome is I let fear dictate a lot of my life, and that
Mm.
most of the things I choose to do is because I'm scared of doing something else, and I'll pick it instead. So, like, a good example is wanting to move to Vancouver. I've been wanting to do that for ages, or like get out of a relationship that I was unhappy with. This is like a while back. I've been much happier with like most of my choices lately. Like I've been working on this for years and years, and past like 5 or 6, I've gotten even better at it. Especially the past like 2 or so. But yeah, I definitely just avoid anything that scares me. I would avoid, and parkour helped me a lot with that. Is that a big part of it is facing the things you fear and breaking it down into smaller, more reasonable chunks and building up to it.
Yeah, making
So
progressions.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Which is
progressions have been a big thing for me, and it really makes life so much more manageable. And yeah,
that's
Yeah.
such like a valuable lesson that parkour teaches that you don't realize can apply to like everything.
everything.
Like
Yeah.
breaking down things into steps is so important. Like even like I was thinking like editing a YouTube video, for example, is like a lot of fucking work. Like it can be up to 30 hours sometimes. But if I do a couple hours each day, it's not as bad, right? So even just breaking things down like that, or being like, okay, today on this edit, I just lay down everything. The next day I trim everything. The next day I add the subtitles. It's just such a good way to look at literally everything.
Well, like a really good example of this is like I also struggle with some like depression and stuff, and I avoided therapy for ages because I was scared of what people would think if I told them that I had
Yo.
gone to therapy. Right?
Yeah, same.
Like
That was my big thing with it.
huge amounts of avoidance. Well, one of the things I learned in like therapy to help me was like exposure therapy, which is slow, gentle exposures to things that make you uncomfortable or stressed to help you work through it. Which is literally what we do in parkour when we're learning how to do heights or bigger jumps. We start small, and until we're comfortable, we don't move on, and that's a huge thing. And so it was just really funny that when we started talking about it in therapy, I was like, "Oh, I do this all the fucking time. This is nothing new. It's just applying it to different situations." So
Yeah.
Just making that connection.
Dude, I think parkour has taught us all a lot more than we think, unless we like actually think about it. Just in general for myself, parkour's taught me like, again, like getting through the fears thing in the steps. It's taught me about instruction. It's taught me about talking with people. It's taught me so many lessons that I am just like so grateful for. It's like it's insane.
Totally. Parkour is a good sport to get into.
It
It's
is,
true,
man.
and the community is great.
Yeah, like
It
it taught
is.
me about community. Like it taught me about community and supporting each other, and just like you're just nice to everybody if you do parkour. Everyone just like, treats each other well. It's crazy. Like, it's-
Totally, right? Like if you ever
it's
find a jerk in parkour, they're never around for long.
No,
it's
Yeah.
because it's such a introspective sport, right? Like you have to
It is,
work
yeah.
on things and improve yourself, and that's very hard to do when you're a shitty person. It
yes.
doesn't attract shitty people. Shitty
Yeah.
people don't want to improve and get better at things. So, like, you
Even
get some people with some egos in the
bro.
parkour community. Don't get me wrong. Like, nobody's
Yeah.
perfect, but like on the whole, you get better people around.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's a cultural thing too, though. Like you know what I mean? Like people, like it's just part of the scene that like you kind of think about like philosophy and get introspective. Like if you do parkour, it just kind of goes hand in hand. You know, I don't know. I love that that's so like natural to parkour too. Like parkour is
Totally.
like the sickest sport, honestly. For that reason, like it just breeds like beautiful people. I feel like.
I
Also, it really
absolutely
brings
agree.
in, that idea that, hey, you remember when you sucked? Well, this person right now is a beginner and he's learning. He's putting that time and effort in. So as long as like for the most part, if you see that effort being put in, like everybody's in on that. Like everybody's just vibes with that, with that, uh, with that stoke, that level of stoke, and that vibe of, hey, this like we're working together on this. We're pushing ourselves. We're becoming better people, jumpers, athletes, whatever.
Yeah, it was cool, like having like our communities and our jams, because like you would be just starting at parkour, or you'd be like pretty established in parkour, and either way, you'd still be finding people who are working on the same skills as you, or down to practice those skills with you, and regardless of your skill level. And it was really cool to have that melting pot of skill levels to both learn
Mhm.
from and just like hang out and chat with. It's been one of those really awesome things. Like parkour is still a sport where you can like easily meet your idols.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, it's very much like a social sport.
Hmm.
Yeah,
For
and
sure.
like I really I agree with that like multi-skill level thing. It was really nice. Like I've been training for almost a decade or so, haven't I?
Yeah,
I
Like I was
believe,
like
yeah,
about
7 years in or something, and so like this person who'd been training for like a couple months taught me how to do back handsprings because I just never learned it. There's always
Mhm.
something that like you don't realize that you're missing, and then someone's like, "Oh, actually here," and you're like, "Oh shit, that's great, thank you."
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah, and also, if you're just doing some weird technical challenge, like all of a sudden everybody in the gym is over there and just being like, yo,
Yeah,
this is so cool. Like it
yeah,
could be the simplest little, like it's not very taxing, like it's not a lot of jump force, it's not a lot of it's just, oh, we're trying to go off of like this little nib in the wall and pinch grip something or something like that. Like just trying to
yeah,
do some sort of weird technical challenge. I feel like most of all parkour people are just like, oh fuck yeah, it's like bouldering. It's like a new problem, and they're like, oh sweet, this is so sick.
yeah. Everyone just dog piles on it.
I think that's also something that scares away people sometimes. Is you'll often like see somebody working on something and you're like, "Oh, that looks like fun," and then you come and you have a couple more years of experience and you end up getting it a little faster and it looks like you just came and showed off that, oh, look how easy you can do, I can do this. But in reality I was just like, man, it looks like fun what you're doing, I just want to
Yeah,
join you.
I just
And
want to try it.
I think I've
Yeah,
scared a lot of people off like that because I see people like having fun playing and like I'm like, oh, I want to join them, I need to be part of that, that looks so enjoyable. And
Mhm.
then I forget that I have a decade of experience and it ends up just coming as showing off.
mm.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's not coming from an egotistical stand. I just
I'm just
like what you're
stoked.
doing.
I'm just so
It just looked
stoked.
cool.
Yeah, you just looked like you were having fun. Like I just wanted to join. That's all.
Yeah. So rare then with like the fear stuff. I know like Vancouver is a big fear that you have like up and coming. But what's something that you like have overcome recently that you're pretty stoked on?
Oh, I mean, therapy was a fairly recent one. I've
Yeah.
only done it for about a year and a bit or so. Like,
Yeah.
um, it's a good one. I'm working on learning how to drive
Yes.
again. Because
It's a
I was
hard
like in
one.
a couple different car crashes when I was younger. None of them were like crazy bad, but then I was in the bus accident where it like rolled over,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, and that
I'm
was
not
in
so much.
North
I don't have.
Korea of all
Yeah.
places. You might have to go into a little bit more depth on that.
Maybe another time. It's a good story, but that's not the important part. Important part is the bus rolled, and it really struck home that like driving can hurt other people, and that's what scared me most. Is the
Mhm.
concept that I could cause serious harm to someone else, and
Dude,
then that's really hard for me to deal with.
yeah, that's something
Yeah.
I had to come to stark realization with as well when I just got my learners and I was doing some driving going back from my grandparents' place in Saskatchewan back to Alberta. Um, and on those highways it's single lane undivided, so to get around a person that's going slower like a semi truck or something like that, you have to go into the oncoming lane and speed around them to get in. So between this one stretch of road, it's all just rolling hills, up down up down up down, and you know being a new driver, you're just like, oh no, I know how fast I should be going. I'm stuck behind this semi. I don't want to be back here anymore. And I had, my mom, my brother, and my sister in the car. So I'm just, checking, weaving back in and back in, just looking for a spot to drive in, get around. And I'm like, oh yeah, so like if it looks clear on the next section of downhill, I'm gonna go. And when you're starting out, you don't really have like a concept of, oh, this is how fast you need to go to square up this amount of distance.
Mm-hmm. That comes with
So
experience.
yeah,
You can't.
you definitely know how fast you're going to need to go to square it up, or hey, this is probably a little bit too sketch, I shouldn't do this. So I start, I see, oh, okay, I got some distance in between, so I start ripping it, and then realize I'm like, oh snap, I need to go really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I just floor it. I think I ended up like hitting to like 120 or something like that, and then realizing that not only did I have to pass this semi, I also had to pass the next one as well, because there was no gap space in between them. So I was like, oh shit. I
Yeah, that's
just ended
stressful.
up beaming it at like 200, get myself in like not too like pretty darn close to like getting into a head-on collision, and then just like freaking out. So I just ended up going into the ditch and just stopped the car. So went from like 200 down to 0 within like a 10-second span. I'm like, holy shit.
Oof.
So
Yeah.
just thinking about like,
Spooky.
I could have rammed straight into this car coming in and not only killed myself, but the rest of my family as well. So I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
after that, I was traumatized, and it took a lot of driving instructing to get me out of that. I didn't want to get back into a car afterwards, but after doing a bunch of driving education and getting behind the wheel a little bit more with a person that was actually just going to be there to teach me how to do things and just tell me to suck it up and just
Mhm.
do shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely helped me. And like, as you all know, I'm a quite proper driver.
It's true. Yeah, having a driving instructor was probably the best thing I could have done for learning to drive.
Yeah.
Like,
I
yeah.
had this crazy Polish guy that taught me how to drive. And
Really?
he was like teaching me stuff, and then he'd be like, "Okay, but never do that. That's actually like really bad habits."
Sounds, yeah. That's what it was like learning how to drive from my dad, who you never knew whether he was like drunk or not while he was letting you drive. So
Yeah.
it was like you'd do your stuff and you'd go for sneaky little drives, and because like my mom would always only take me into parking lots, and I wanted experience on roads and on highways and stuff. And like the first time that I got my learner's license, my freaking alcoholic father had taken us to the registry. I had passed my learner's test, and then in rush hour traffic right beside like some of the busiest roads at rush hour, I had to drive us home. And that was
Oh,
my
God.
first ever experience driving in the car ever. And it was wild. It was wild.
I would have definitely crashed. That's impressive that you made that happen. No
it was
crash.
a high stress. It was a high stress moment for sure. I think
Just goes to show how easy it is to get into a really bad situation, and a lot of people don't end up coming out of the other end.
For real, trial by fire. The strong
Yeah.
live.
yeah, it was
I mean,
freaky.
that's like a shitty situation. Like my driver didn't put me in shitty situations. He just like teach me to like slow down using the clutch, and he's like, "Okay, that actually wears down your engine, so never do that."
Mm.
And then he'd like
Then why'd you
be
tell
like,
me?
"Okay, yeah, all right." He'd be
Because
like,
it's
"Okay,
neat.
now we're gonna do this like way of changing lanes where the road turns, and you're just gonna kind of let the car drift a little bit straighter, so you slowly change lanes." And he's like, "Okay, but never do that because people won't know what you're doing and they'll like freak out at you." And stuff like that. So I was
Oh
just like,
my
why do you
God.
tell me to do this?
The
And then
hell?
you're immediately like,
Because
okay, now
it's neat.
never do that.
Mine
Yeah.
just picked on me.
No,
See, mine
I'll have
was
to go
like
beat him up. Nobody
mine was
picks
like
on
an
Brody.
English ex like military. So he was really nice and calming force, but then he was just like, all right, but now you're not really gonna do that ever again, or else I'm taking over the vehicle. I'm like, oh. Okay. Better
Yeah.
not fuck up then.
Yeah.
I like half taught myself how to drive, and which led like me driving. Everyone knows I drive fast. I do not do so much anymore, especially with
I was gonna say,
other people in
Jay
the
missed the
car.
speed limit part of the lesson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I taught
I do
myself,
remember that.
and I saw those signs and suggestions. Now
Also, the
that
parking side of things as well. How many parking tickets you've been having to deal with? My
that's
God.
my own that's my own reluctance to feeling stupid about paying for an empty fucking space on the side of a road. I I understand if there's a parking lot that I'm parking in and that is specifically designed to give you extra space so that you can park and have a space to park. But if you're just parking in your city on the side of the road, why are you paying for a fucking empty space on the road? It seems
Better be
silly.
careful in Vancouver.
I know.
Got to pay for parking everywhere there.
I'm painfully aware. But when you don't pay for parking in Vancouver, it's not a criminal offense. You just have the parking lot going, "Hey, you got to pay your ticket." And you just go, no." And that's pretty much that. Unless you're a repeat offender, then they'll be like, "That's the guy, tow him."
Well, and also I think that it would probably be a lot easier on you because like Calgary is not a very bike friendly city. Like as it is just
No.
going today, I'm like, shit, this guy's gonna whip around and yep, almost got hit. Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I think
Vancouver I
it's
find is so much more accessible and a lot more friendly to biking. And just the city is just a lot more compact than Calgary.
Yeah,
So,
it's legit built
who
for
knows?
biking.
Who knows?
Mhm.
Might end up like biking a lot more than uh, just
not to
whipping the car
work,
out.
not to
Yeah,
work,
yeah, yeah.
but I think
But like leisurely.
yeah, instead of ranting about parking, I'll take my turn. The the most difficult thing for me to overcome in and work on as a person is really just it's very similar to Jovi's, is working through my depression. That's been like the hardest thing in my whole life, is dealing with that and just the anxiety around it as well. But primarily is uh having it kind of overwhelm me and let it incapacitate me. I'm same thing as I'm trying to let it not uh completely incapacitate me when I hit a wave of it. I'm not as good at dealing with it as I had hoped to be, but I've gotten a lot better. I've gotten a lot more confident in my life and in my skills as a person. Um, Everyone doesn't think I I I wouldn't consider myself a confident person. I feel like I could be more, but also feels egotistical to be confident to myself. These guys all try and tell me
That's
otherwise, but
bullshit. That's
see,
bullshit. I
I
used to think
said
the
it.
same thing.
Well, the
I
thing is,
used to
there's a
think the same
difference.
thing, and I think there's a huge difference.
Self-love
Egotistical
and
is that
ego.
thinking that you are better than people. Not, it's not about thinking that you are good. And
Mm,
Yeah.
it's something that I have also struggled with. I want to change my answer. My problem is learning to love myself, and it's something that I've made huge strides in.
yeah.
And I'm not going to take over your whole thing, but I'm telling you right now, that's bullshit. Do
Yeah. You
not
can
say it's
absolutely be proud of
egotistical to love
yourself.
yourself and be proud of yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah, Rick
I
had a good point that it's not about being better than people. You know what I mean? Like it's just you gotta love yourself. Like regardless, other people are no score. You just have a great score. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's
that's
also
a good
you
way to look at
live
it.
with yourself every moment of every day. Whereas with everybody else, it's just like, you can pick and choose whether or not you're around against other people. So the person that you should really try to make peace with is yourself first, and then everything else is going to come with that.
Well, yeah, but like I grew up with always hearing like I'm not good enough, you're not doing well enough at this or whatever, all these negative connotations about myself. And so they're so deep rooted in my head that they've become my own. Is I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, I'm not going to be successful. So whenever I try and be confident about something, it's like, nah, stop, you can't be that. So these guys, what's
Ooh.
nice is that these guys have become my confidence, and I'm slowly
J-
learning to be confident with myself. But fuck, it's hard.
do we share a brain or something? Like,
Maybe.
That sounds like the voices in my head.
It sounds like that's just a common thing when growing up with an abusive alcoholic father.
Ooh. Ooh, that couldn't be me.
Pinching a nerve there.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things, but it's been good. I've been getting better at it and just learning because I I very much drown myself with having stuff to do, so I'm not trapped in my own head to have that stuff.
Mm.
Everyone knows I'm busy all the time, and there's very good reason for it. And it's just trying now. The biggest thing is trying now to find time for myself that's not a distraction and having it just be constructive me time. So that's the big thing.
Basically a personal meditation, however that plays out.
And just like doing things for myself, like instead of being like, I wonder if someone wants to go for coffee, or I wonder if someone wants to go like skate, or I wonder if someone wants to go on a hike or play this game. Instead, I'm like, I want to go have a coffee and I want to go and do this, and I go and do it instead of needing a person there with me that I can conversate with or have something to do that's completely distracting me of my own thoughts and avoiding having that space to myself in my head. So it's been good
Yeah.
because I've been finally having time to be like, all right, this time is like, I'm not going to make a project for myself. I'm going to have time just for me. And it's still fucking scary. And I still half the time bitch out about it. It's like, I don't want to hang out with myself, and it's bad, but I'm learning.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I had to get over the idea that, oh, every time you go to the movie theater, you need to be in a posse or with another person.
That's
And
so
then it's like,
scary.
wait a
Going to the
second,
movies
fuck
alone.
that.
I could
I'm just
never.
gonna go to I just want to see this film. I'm just gonna go fucking watch this movie. I remember I went and saw Avatar: The Last Airbender in theaters because I was just
Oh.
like, you know what, I'm gonna watch
Awful.
this. And fuck, I had an absolutely terrible time just watching the movie. It was actually no, actually, I'm gonna take that back. I had a great time because of how fucking shitty it was. I just had such a fun time just ripping them apart in my head.
Yeah.
I'm like, Ong? Who is Ong? Ong? What is this?
That's how it's traditionally pronounced.
Traditionally in fucking what?
I think it's Tibet. It's like Tibetan. Like I think that's where his name's like derived from. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where
Yeah,
it
I'm like,
came from.
I don't care if I'm an
Yeah.
uncultured swine. The original
Because-
source material, it says Ang.
Yeah, the source material gave us how to pronounce it. It's not like you're
Yes.
reading it, so you have to go through context and like go back and try and be like, okay, well, this is where it comes from, so makes sense. This is probably how it's pronounced. No, they told you straight up.
Yeah.
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 There's a whole animated show on how to pronounce everything.
I will
In that.
throw rocks about these kinds of things. Like I am not afraid.
We know.
I will fucking drown them in water.
I will get my fucking pocket gravel and teach somebody a fucking lesson. Like
My one
This
weakness.
is the defense pocket gravel, and this is the I'm gonna teach you a fucking lesson pocket gravel.
Yeah.
Always
a little
have
bit
both
bigger.
stand by.
yeah,
You have two pockets
like-
for a reason.
different levels of coarseness too.
Oh yeah, some's
little
got
bit
some
more
sand mixed
sandy.
in.
Yeah. Defense is a little more sandy. It's gotta get in their eyes a little more. Help me get away.
Whereas the
Teaching
I'm gonna teach you a
lesson
lesson
gravel is a little heavier.
and
It's
a
gotta
little
have
bit
some
more
weight
abrasive.
behind it. It's for teaching lessons. It's heavier.
Well, guys, to go on some more positive notes, without getting too far into it, just let's go through and say something that we've all done very recently. If it's even just a task, what's something that you're really proud of accomplishing recently? For myself, I've been very stoked with the progress I've made on my car project. And I've recently acquired a higher position on a show in the special effects department as a first assistant, which is also considered a best boy, which is right below a coordinator. So I'm
Jay
very
is the best boy.
He's not
I'm the
only
best boy.
lost, he's not
It's-
only Pody, he's best.
best boy is the position I'm
Best
moving
lost
into
Pody boy.
starting on
Best player in
Wednesday.
your contact name.
Nice.
Better update your LinkedIn with that best boy.
Yeah, best boy title. It's gonna be in the credits. Hopefully, we'll see.
Is that your new
Hell
Tinder
yeah.
bio?
Boy, oh, I love that. Such a good title, dude. That's such a good title.
Anyone who's the direct assistant of the department lead in film is typically called a best boy or best girl, and
Man.
it's awesome. I'm there. I'm gonna make all the jokes.
Fuck
Tinder
yeah.
bio. Best boy. That's it.
Best boy of explosions. It is I.
Let me be the best boy to explode in around your general vicinity.
No.
Save it for the BDSM one.
Yeah.
Mike said
Oh
it, you have
no.
to now.
Is it me now?
Fucking hit
Get
it,
it.
Mike. Yeah. What's something you've done
All right.
recently?
So over the past month, I've been mulling away at the new research proposal at work. So basically just trying to put together a new experiment in developing the design, doing the research, doing the background, coming up with all of our objectives, our hypotheses, and also all of the ways that, we can test this and that and come up with a bunch of ideas. So, for this, it's typically only like a 1 to 2 page blurb, but just the amount of rabbit holes you need to go down to really fully understand the entirety of what's kind of going on in the field is just debilitating. So for the past month, I've just been mulling away at every little bit and cranny of this proposal, and I was able to get that out just yesterday. So
Nice.
I was so fucking happy because it was just the looming project that I had to deal with every time I came in, and there was always something getting in the way. Always something happening in the lab. So I'm like, oh man, when am I actually going to be able to get this off? And yeah, set
And
that
Mike
off,
got
and then
it
I got,
off.
and then with that, I also had to put in another proposal for another experiment to help this project out. So I was able to do
man.
that. I was able to send that project proposal, or like the project proposal that I was working on in, and then I was also able to draft that other proposal up and send that in on the same day. So I was like,
Hell yeah.
Damn, bro.
yeah. And on
Just
top of that,
fucking- more. Hit it.
um, similar to Jay, just went and got promoted up a position.
We
So
getting
now it's
promoted
like,
out here.
hey, cool. And a lot of it comes from all of the work that I've been doing to develop the safety systems and protocol, and also just basically helping the lab manager run the lab.
Mm.
So yeah, so it was nice being recognized for that, and I was just really appreciative of that coming around because it's been a while.
Hell yeah,
Atta
dude.
boy,
A while
man.
of working at that.
Freaking atta boy.
Yeah,
Jovi.
congrats.
All right, lads. Recently, I am very proud of this. I filed a police report against my harasser of 3 years. That shit feels amazing. I don't feel afraid of them anymore, and I'm pretty fucking euphoric about it. So let's get it. Goodbye.
Nice.
That's just a huge weight off of your shoulders right there.
Yeah,
That's a
no
big step
doubt.
forward, my guy.
Yeah.
Very
Really
proud of
proud
you
of
for
you.
that. It's a
I'm
tough step
fucking
to take in
stoked.
general.
It actually did feel like hard, surprisingly. Like I was doing it, I was like, I really didn't want to do it. Like I had to make myself, but then I did, and I feel very safe from them. And I did it for 3 years, so I just feel so good these days. Weight. I physically feel a weight not in my chest that I felt
Yeah.
for 3 years. Like it's
It's
crazy.
insane
Like I
what it does, hey?
actually physically
Mhm.
feel different. It's it's so weird. Yeah.
Proud of
Hell
you, Jovi.
yeah.
Congrats, man.
Thanks,
Hell yeah.
boys.
Brody?
Who's next?
Or Rare?
Bro.
Who wants it?
Rare, you go ahead.
Shit. This is so hard for me. I've never been good at this. I finished my electronics engineering with honors. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking did, dude.
Yeah,
I
dude.
picked
Let's
up my
go.
diploma recently. It says right on it, with honors.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Considering I failed English 5 times in high school and I barely passed, it technically took me an extra year to finish high school. That's a kind of a big deal for me. So I'm gonna say
Mhm.
I'm proud of that one.
Well,
Hell
we're
yeah.
proud
yeah,
of you
dude,
as
you
well.
worked fucking hard.
Yeah,
And you
even
also landed a new job with that, I heard too.
No, it
Also?
is not with that. No, it is with the. I'm back to being an electrician, as before, temporarily while I find actual work. I hate it.
Mm.
I hate it so much. Oh my god,
Oh no.
I can't wait to find
You've got some
anything
good
else.
electrician stories of like all the people.
Oh yeah.
But
The funny part is like all the electricians are great people. I love
it,
all the electricians. It's everyone else we have to work with
Mm,
are like terrible people. Like some of the
yeah,
painters are garbage. Lots of the like base general laborers who decided that they didn't want to do anything with their life their entire life and now they're older and like don't like I don't have a problem with people like not knowing what to do or like wanting to do stuff, but they are bitter about it.
yeah,
They're not like, "Oh,
Mm.
I made my choice. Like this is what I wanted." They're just like and they're taking it out on everyone else and it is
Yeah.
so uncomfortable.
just got
drywallers.
lost in the stream of of life, and then just getting mad that you didn't direct yourself through that stream to where you wanted to go, or having no idea of where you wanted to go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man, like I get it. Like
yeah, it's easy to get
sometimes
lost
you
in
don't
everything,
know.
but
Like
yeah,
some days
don't
you
take
just
it out on
enjoy
other
just
people.
doing general stuff. Like it feels good to just go in and build something and like not have to think about it and like you go to work, you do your job, and then you leave it there, right? That's the nice thing about just being like general labor is there's
Mm.
no take home work. It's just come in, do your job, and then go. But
Rare.
Hmm.
man, if you're gonna make
I
everyone else feel like shit for it, piss off.
I don't know
Yeah.
why I didn't think about this sooner, but I think easily this summer you could get a job as an electrics on film sets and you'll be working with anything from small little LED programmable things into big like 24K power lights.
I 100% want to. I need to get a license first, is the thing, because I can't get anywhere. So
Get
I'm
it
working on it right now. Like
and
that
we'll
is
be there.
top priority because I don't want to work here anymore.
And then
Get me out of here.
it's easily transferable to Vancouver
Losing
too,
of it.
which will be
Oh my
great.
god.
Hmm.
I'll
Well, any
ask around.
technology, like any technology, is just transferable because
Yeah.
it's not. We're not going to go backwards into the Stone Age anytime soon.
No,
Right.
unless
Hopefully.
Dr. Stone happens, but
Ah, fuck.
I mean, Then
Sometimes
I
I
understand the
feel what
concept well enough. Hopefully, pull everyone forward.
sometimes I wonder, like, how how well would I fare and other people fare if that was the case, if we ended up getting, petrified and then all
Reverted.
technology was gone and we had to start from scratch again.
I'd be
Same
fine.
as
I have pocket gravel.
yeah.
That doesn't require any electricity.
Hmm. Well, I still remember back when like the 2012 like doomsday theories were all happening and like all that. I
Yeah.
still remember taking that super seriously. So I still have like my day bag packed for some reason of all of like these implements that I would need, like a survival like guide on how to make snares and fire and all these different shelters that I ended up getting from I think it was down in Montana, and I just saw that book, and I was like, deal.
Okay,
And
Brody,
yeah, it's just crazy.
we need to get into yours, man.
Yo, I beat Ornstein and Smo in Dark Souls the other day. That's the hardest boss in that game, everybody.
It really is. Like
It's fucking bullshit. Anyways, that's a joke. Not that I didn't actually beat them, but that's not my thing. I'm just honestly, I'm super fucking proud of my YouTube channel. Like,
Yes.
I look at my videos and I'm like, I'm fucking good. Like,
Yeah,
make
you
good
are.
videos.
and it's
You've
not
been
from a
good for
place of
so
like
long.
being cocky. It's just like I'm so confident in my abilities with it that I'm like, this is good. Like I'm good at this shit. So I'm proud of that.
And you
Bro,
absolutely should
anytime
be.
I'm like around people and we have like YouTube as an option, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna put on some shit right now. Like y'all need to see this
Hell yeah.
because it's actually like so good. It's not like I'm not like going around, hey, can you watch my friend's video? He needs the likes. I'm like, no, you need to see this. I am doing
Yeah.
you a favor by showing you this.
For real. I watch it for pleasure. Like I put it
Yeah.
on. I enjoy this right now just because
Hell yeah.
I know you. Yeah.
That's so awesome. Even just like, and I love that feedback because like I'm confident in it, but hearing that other people enjoy it too is awesome. Like my coworker at work, we were talking about it today. He's like, oh wait, you have a YouTube channel? He put up one of my clips.
Oh,
Oh,
Did he press his phone?
my Discord completely just shut down.
Love it.
Anyways, at work, a coworker was watching my stuff and just like laughing out loud.
That's
And,
great.
It's like, wow, like I'm seeing this. Like I hear you guys tell me all the time, but just seeing like someone I don't know as well just losing their shit laughing at my jokes, I was like, yo, okay.
Yo, like live reaction like that. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
definitely, Brody, like, dude, if someone's looking for like reviews or breakdowns or playthrough, like anything like that for like video games, he's the guy. And like just his humor is impeccable, which is something I aspire to eventually grasp. Is just like good constant humor. So you
I
guys,
mean, it
you
helps
definitely,
writing the scripts.
well, yeah,
But still, even on your streams, like
yeah,
there's some
you've
stuff that you
got
come
it.
up with,
This
and
is
I'm just like,
great
oh my
clips.
god, are you kidding me? I
Yeah,
still
you're a
love coming
funny
in on
dude.
your Isekai Mario one, and it's like, not,
Oh,
I'm not,
dude.
I don't think I'm the best Isekai Mario player in the world. I am, and then just
And
fall
then
off
I
the
fall
fucking
off a
map.
ledge immediately. I have so
Fucking
many
laugh my
fucking
shit.
clips like that. I was playing Little Nightmares, and I was like, "Yo, guys, check this out!" And I go for this jump and just completely miss and splat on the ground and die. I was like, "Shit,
Sick.
that's not what I wanted to do."
Nailed
MLG,
it.
clip that shit. Well, guys,
Oh man,
we're gonna wrap up by saying thank you so much to supporting Pody Boys, us, and everything that we do so much. We appreciate it a lot.
oh yeah.
If you would like, because you're here, because you're listening, we've got a discount code that you can use on our podiboys.com shop for our merch. The code is just podcast for 10% off of whatever you buy. Make sure you take advantage of that. It is our way of saying thank you for doing so much for us leading up to this point and continuing on doing so.
Oh
Uh,
shit! What does that work on? Like the shirts,
It works on
Yeah.
the
the
shirts.
hats,
Yes.
It's true.
the sweaters.
We do
Yes.
Oh,
have those.
this podcast discount code sounds pretty great.
And I believe it will be working on anything to come. We've got some more lines in the works. No spoilers yet about anything, no dates, because we've
We're
learned
doing
our
speedos.
lesson.
You didn't hear it from me.
Holy
Speedos.
fuck. But yeah, keep your eye out. We're doing some updates to the shop coming up pretty soon, so keep an eye out for that.
Updates. An entire new website. Damn it.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
we going out there with it. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great, wonderful rest of your weekend. And if you're listening to not on a weekend, have a great rest of the week, you fucker. Okay. Peace out, guys.
Bye.
Yes.
Mwah.